introduce
I'm
you,
here.
or
I'm
you were going to
here.
introduce you.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
just going to
All right,
introduce
Wes,
them. You
then
go. You
kick us
go.
off.
Welcome everyone to MS Office Hours. It is Thursday, May the 1st. Let me please introduce our hosts.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Cox, and with me today are my amazing co-hosts.
Hi, Bill Bales here. Great to see you folks.
Just really quickly before Anthony goes, Bill is Stephanie in disguise. So in case you were wondering, he's Stephanie. So there you go.
That's it.
All right.
Love it. Thanks.
Oh, Anthony, we can't hear you. No. But I'm happy to say that is Anthony Wallace.
Anthony
And
Wallace here.
Oh, there we go. You're good.
There you go.
You also have a smooth voice, Anthony. So you should be a newscaster as well. All right, but we are very lucky. We've got TJ with us. A lot of you know TJ, and I saw in the chat, Jose said TJ helped this week. Jose, we need an updated bingo board, by the way. We haven't seen one in a while. So we're going to go on mute, turn our cameras off, and the show is all yours, TJ.
Awesome. So I'll kick it off here. So I'm TJ Bering. So I work on the education product team, and I specifically focus on the ecosystem integration. So LTI integrations included with the major LMSs. So Canvas, Blackboard, D2L, Schoology, a number of them around the planet that support the LTI 1.3 standard with our tools. As you all might know, we have several tools out there, 5 key ones that we've shipped over the years. Microsoft Teams Meetings is one of them. Microsoft Classes that brings the team and the LMS together. We have our OneDrive LTI, our brand new Assignments LTI. If you haven't seen that, that brings our learning accelerators into the LMSs, and generative AI that's free and open for you to use with a Copilot license, and then without a Copilot license rather, and then empowered more with a Copilot license. And Reflect. So I think I rattled off 5 of them. We have aspirations to bring Copilot in there and other things that we're working on, for next school year. One of the things that we're going through right now is some changes in the company that are driving changes in our products. So you may have heard of an initiative called SFI, or Secure Future Initiative for Microsoft. That's an overall company-wide effort with multiple sprints, multiple waves going through. That's helping us modernize and further secure all the apps and services that we have at Microsoft. And one of the things there is we have these 5 LTI tools. 2 of them were owned by the Teams team. 2 of them were owned by my team. 1 of them was owned by our Israel team. They were all over the place. And that gave us 5 security passes to make, 5 improvements to make in our login routines, other stuff. So as we added up all this work, somebody said, hey, TJ, why don't you pull all of those together, right? So that we don't have to do all this work over and over again. We lower our maintenance floor. We make customers happy because we bring more into one package and give you less to deploy and install and consent and everything like that. So that's what we intend to do. So the announcement that you may have heard this week, or that Steve might have shared, there are actually 2. So one was regarding the Teams LTI tools. So if Steve can help me with the FAQ for that announcement, I'm going to give him a few minutes and then I'll do it myself. But the FAQ that we published out there, and a banner that you would see, along the in the tool today as a teacher, that says that the current Teams Meetings LTI and Teams Classes LTI tools will retire on the 15th of June. What it doesn't say, when we published this on April 2nd, and we didn't publish it on the 1st just for this reason, what it doesn't say is when the new tool will be available, when the replacements. It says that there will be replacements available, but it doesn't have a date. That is because we kind of made the decision to shift that work and retire those tools in favor of doing a month's worth of dev work to build a new tool. My team took on that dev work to port those tools over on April the 1st, and needs a couple sprints here to get designs right and get timing right, for a release. So we have not shared a date yet. We're working on 2 things internally. We do not want to have a gap, and it would be horrible if we did, a gap in service. So We are working really, really hard to kind of align those things, and we will communicate sometime in the next week or two, likely next week, that new date, right, for when the new tools will be available and any updates we have for the retirement date of the old ones. But so that's the reason for the semi-scary update that would have come through to your Office Message Center on April the 2nd. Steve has got the FAQ in the chat there. And that explains a little bit more. But I want to be very, very clear that the meetings tool and the classes tool, though they will retire, those UXs will retire on the 15th. Nothing will change in terms of syncing a team from Canvas. So that functionality in Canvas's menus, syncing a team, creating a team in Blackboard Ultra, the course connector for class teams for D2L, none of those things go away or stop working. None of your teams that have been created with the tools go away. None of the meetings that have been created with the meetings tool goes away. And when the new replacements show up, they will pick up where those leave off with 100% backwards compatibility for viewing those teams and meetings. Now, one thing I will also share, and I'm not allowed to show you a picture yet, but what we will be shipping is kind of some improvements to those things. So what we're going to be doing is, number one, we're going to bring together all those tools into one LTI that you will deploy. So there will be admin settings in that tool that says, hey, which of these things are on and off, hard on or off for my university or school, and then what's the default state for instructors. Instructors would click one menu item, Microsoft EDU, let's call it, on the menu, and the tools that they have available to them to turn on for their students will be there in whatever default state you set them as an admin. And those tools can then visualize those same teams and classes that the old ones could. So that's what we're talking about moving to here. I said there were two announcements. The second one happened earlier, so previous to April 1st. I don't remember exactly when, sometime in March, I think the 15th. We announced that OneNote LTI was losing the ability to auto add students. So there was a checkbox in the setup of the OneNote class notebook deployment in the LMS that said automatically add future students. We had to deprecate that one as well. We have to, coming up here in June, as well, for that same security reason. So that one will also come back. OneNote class notebooks will also come back in this consolidated framework in its first iteration and have that feature back. So there's, if you're using any of those three LTIs, you're going to want to pay careful attention to our announcements in the next week or two here, and a push of the preview of those tools. So I'm going to ask Steve to help me out with one more thing if he hasn't already posted it. The URL for our sign-up form for LMS previews. And so if you sign up on this form, you will be kind of in the loop in the email list, if you will, to get the first and early pushes of when we ship and have that new tool, instructions for deployment of that new tool available. Thank you, Steve. Steve, you did an excellent job. Steve has all of the links. So I want to drill into one thing. So I mentioned our assignments LTI. That's the latest one we put out there. All of the LTI tools will eventually be merging into the framework I mentioned. We're just going to do the other ones a little bit more slowly and with less of a fire drill. So OneDrive, for instance, will be in there. Reflect will be in there. They have existing deployments that will not go away today. And when we introduce them in the new tool, we'll turn them off by default. You get to decide when you turn them on and retire the old ones. And you can do that at a semester changeover or more comfortable time. We know June 15th is an ideal timing for any of this. That's a date that's set to be ahead of July 1st, which is the hard deadline we have from the company-wise to have all the audits done around SFI, and the end of our fiscal year, so very important timing. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. And I apologize for the inconvenience and any misunderstandings there. I just wanted to make sure anybody that saw that messaging was clear that the teams and the meetings don't go away, only the visualizations, and they will come back. And we will communicate better timing as soon as we can. One other thing I'll mention with that, we're hoping to, as I said, we we're gaining a little bit of bandwidth here on our side to work on these tools. And in the future, less maintenance. So one of the things we will be working on is listening to you better. Those tools have not really improved in the last couple of years. They just kind of kept doing what they're doing, but we have heard some things already that we're going to be able to react to. For instance, the meetings tool, we are going to change the meeting navigation to an easy kind of upcoming, past, and recordings and transcripts views in that tool. We heard very loud and clear from a number of customers that the number one, transitioning from tools like Zoom and others here was difficult because we had chosen a kind of non-standard navigation, and number two, we had kind of a hard to figure out menu navigation, calendar navigation to go backwards. So students having to guess what date and time something happened to view it in the past wasn't ideal. So we're just going to go to an easier navigation there. And bring back another thing we're going to attempt to do is bring back the Meet Now button to copy info and send out an instant meeting link. So a number of things we feel we can improve very quickly here as well. So I'll pause there for any questions or comments. You can look up for Steve Lane's post in the chat for all the good links that I mentioned. And Steve, I don't know, did you post office hours, the details about LTI office hours? That's another place to join us every first and third Thursday.
I did not.
And yeah, so office hours. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, office hours integration with LMS Teams meetings. Sure, you can pop that meeting in there. Perfect. Yeah, and I'll pause here for any comments or questions. But that's the meat of it, and hope that's all understandable. And happy to clarify. If any of your teams want to do a specific meeting, LMS admins particularly, to go through changes coming, or I can share some more pictures and previews under NDA. So if we are able to do that, in a one-on-one meeting within your schools or folks, I can share a little bit more. So feel free to reach out about that, and there will be quite a bit of press and other things in the ISTE timeframe, which is later June. That you'll see a lot more about this. And for anybody that's going to be at the next two events I'm going to, or let me think, One Ed Tech in Indianapolis. So if anybody's going to be there, looking forward to see you. And we have a couple good sessions there around the LTI tools and some customer case studies. And then at ISTE, of course, my entire team will be there pretty much so. And we'll have all of this great stuff I'm talking about demoable and showable in our booth. And happy to turn up here again to go through things as they release. Yeah, I will. There we go. And I'll put the detail for those office hours there in the chat. But that's it for me. Any questions or comments, just feel free to speak up or throw them in the chat there, and I'm happy to follow up with anybody as needed.
What else you got, folks? We've got one from Catherine. You want to come off of mute, or do you want to, I can read it out loud. Whichever you would prefer, Catherine.
Sure, I can come off mute. We had only used the Teams meetings LTI at the course level. We were piloting it, and it was important to us not to have that creation of a team for each course. So I don't know how that LTI works, but is there a possibility to disable the automatic creation of a team with this new LTI that's combining all the features?
Yes, because what we're doing, we also listed on that one. That's another thing we're going to get a chance to improve, because the old one, there was a button inside the old one that had add entire class that was very handy to folks, but it only worked if you had a team. We're going to make that button drive off of the LMS's roster directly. So you will not require a team to have to be able to use the meetings tool fully.
Awesome. Thank you.
What else you got? Because if you have an LTI question, this is the guy. This is the guru.
The man,
Anyone?
the myth, the legend.
Yeah, Peter.
Well, thank you. So one of the things that's absolutely crucial to our faculty right now with our Brightspace and WebEx integration is the open office hours that they publish for their students and update on a regular basis. Is that being maintained, reduced to that new methodology and technology?
No, that's not even, so if I'm understanding you right, that's the D2L specific integration, right, of just posting a link in a content item. That one is not changing at all. Actually, D2L owns that tool. We can't even change it if we wanted to. So that one's not going anywhere.
Creates a WebEx meeting based on the student's request for the office hour. Is that on a roadmap for Microsoft and D2L?
Not a WebEx meeting, no.
No, a Microsoft meeting.
I get it. Yeah, we are. Yeah, so in the new tool, we'll have a Meet Now button, which creates a link that you can copy and paste anywhere. So that one could be used instead of the D2L one, or you can continue to use the D2L one. We're talking about, I think, kind of a roadmap item that we already have a big ask for is like, hey, can you give us a way to create a meeting that hangs out there in the meetings list, but does not have to have an invite list, right? So anybody that comes to the course sees the meeting and can join it with their ID. So that sounds a little bit like maybe what you're talking about. So a meeting that kind of, you don't have to explicitly invite students, but anybody in your course roster list could join it with their creds.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so that is a backlog item. I do not know if that'll be there with the V1, but that's definitely something we've listened to and have on our backlog.
All right, what else is top of mind? If not, I'll say what I say to my team. We can give you 10 minutes back to go pursue your passions, because with those 10 minutes, you could change
Lives
the world.
change. Yeah.
That's one of my, I don't know when that meme or whatever, I don't know how long ago that started, but it was like when people end meetings early and they're like, I'm going to give you 3 minutes back. And they're like, what do they expect me to do? Like, oh, go pursue my passion. So I was like, well, that's what I think I'm going to start telling my team. So 3 of my lovely team members, actually Dwayne, Will, who's often on here, and Nick, they quite literally, they're lovely. I don't know if they're still hiding here. They made me a mug with my background for my office. And it says, go pursue your passions. So you know what?
Dear.
That's how you know you have a team that really, really supports you. No, Dwayne, I wasn't throwing you under the bus. I was celebrating you for being kind. So, all right, everybody. I can stop. Greg wants to ask a question, but we're still recording. So I will stop the recording just to, just in case, stop the recording.